Hi there, my name's Imara and I'm coming to you from sunny Guangzhou. You might have heard of a website called Couchsurfing and you might know that it's travel related, so I'm here to tell you what's involved. If you're teaching in China, you'll know that the winter and summer holidays are great opportunities to get some traveling in, and luckily Couchsurfing is a global platform and there's plenty of opportunity to use it in Asia. So first of all, it's just called www.couchsurfing.com. When you go on the website, what you want to do is type in the search bar the name of the city that you're going to be staying in. Then what will appear is a list of names of people who've registered as a host. And this means that they have a couch or bed or even a spare room available for someone to stay in. The great thing about this is that it's completely free. Instead of paying for a hostel or hotel, you can have a look on Couchsurfing and see if there are any people willing to have you over for a night or two. So before you go searching, what you need to do is create a profile. Now this isn't something to rush because you're kind of looking to advertise yourself as an ideal couch surfer or host if you prefer. You'll want to fill out each description on your profile as accurately and as honestly as you can. If people are going to let you into their home, they want to be able to trust you. It's nothing too invasive or anything, just some fun questions like what's one amazing thing that you've done, or what can you share with your hosts, and all of this just gives a good insight into what you're like as a person, and as well of course putting details like your age and your gender in, because some hosts have certain preferences. So the next step after you've created your profile, then you can go and look for your city and search for a host. Depending on the city, there will be differing amounts of people available there to host, but the community is incredibly active. I did a quick search for Guangzhou because that's where I am right now, and at the moment there are 15,428 hosts in this city. So you can be as picky as you like, there's probably going to be a host for you. Of course, they need to decide whether or not they're happy to host you, so what you need to do is send an official request. So in your request to your desired host, you tell them how many nights you'd want to stay, and preferably you also tell them the dates. This is just so that they can check that they're actually around. It's of course up to you how long you want to stay, but usually hosts have a maximum of about 3 nights that they're comfortable with. For me personally, I usually go for 2 because I don't want to overstay my welcome, and I think it's a nice amount of time to get to know someone. You also have to consider that hosts are often working and fewer nights is just going to be more convenient for them. After you've sent a host a request, it's up to them to get back to you. The site will tell you when their last login time was, so I try to go for people who have a more frequent login time. A concern for many people, including my mom, is how safe that this website really is. And actually, I think it's incredibly easy to use this site safely. The steps that I take to make sure I'm being safe are pretty simple. So first of all, as you might have guessed, I'm a girl, so I filter my host search by females only because that's just my personal preference. You do whatever makes you feel most comfortable. Secondly, if a host has responded positively to a request, then I like to friend them on Facebook, or I like to have a chat with them over Skype just to make sure that, you know, it's all legit, that they are who they are, and it gives them comfort as well because then they can see me and they know that I am who I am. If I somehow still wasn't satisfied with that, I would probably arrange to meet them in a cafe or like a park or somewhere public before I actually go around to their place, but so far I've never had to do anything like this. My personal experience with couchsurfing has always been absolutely fantastic. I've only stayed with 3 hosts and I've never hosted myself, but I hope to do it at some time in the near future. My first time couchsurfing was in Tempe in Arizona, and the second 2 times were both in Taiwan, the first one in Taichung and the second one in Kaohsiung. My very first time using it was a very amazing but also nerve-wracking experience. I was 20 years old and traveling the west coast of the US, and luckily a lovely girl who was a few years older than me agreed to host me. She seemed very confident and well-traveled, so I was a little bit intimidated, but I was honest about my inexperience with using couchsurfing, and she was so lovely about it. I ended up meeting a bunch of her friends, We went camping by the Red Rocks in Sedona. We went to Flagstaff to sample some craft beer, but I had none because I wasn't of age. They were actually kind enough to drive me all the way to my hostel when I was visiting the Grand Canyon, and I didn't have another way to get there. So that was just incredible. Both of my experiences in Taiwan were also incredibly positive. My host in Taichung was unfortunately working quite a lot of the time, but she was still very happy for me to stay, and she even gave me an entire spare room to crash in, which her two lovely cats really liked coming into for snuggles, so that was good fun. I was able to spend a bit more time with my host in Kaohsiung, which was great. She actually took me all over the city on her e-bike. We went to some fab places like her favorite Japanese restaurant and her favorite salon. We went to the cinema, and we even managed to catch some New Year's fireworks together. So that was so much fun. I felt like I got a real local experience of the city. So like I said before, hosts don't expect payment in return for giving you a place to crash. But I like to think, as a courtesy, maybe you should try and pay for maybe a dinner or some drinks if you go out, or even just buy them like a nice little gift. It doesn't have to be anything too flashy. In terms of making yourself at home, every host is different. Some will let you use anything in their fridge. Some would rather that you bought your own food, but they might be happy to let you store it in their fridge. And hosts usually expect that you'll need to use their shower at some point, but always just double check and ask whether, for example, they'd rather that you used your own towel. It's just about using common sense, not overstepping the mark, because people really appreciate that. So as a final courtesy after you leave, what you want to do is leave the host a reference on the website to tell them how the stay was. References stay on your profile so that other people can see them and see how other people have responded to you. They're kind of like reviews for people. And the host can also leave a reference for you, so this is a really good boost for your profile for future couch surfing and maybe hosting as well. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you learned a lot about couch surfing, and I hope you're able to use it at some point in the future. So thanks very much for watching. Bye bye.